Hello everyone, my name is Stephanie Woodruff and today I will be demonstrating an exciting experiment called the pasta rocket. We'll explore the reaction that causes pasta to ignite aggressively and analyze the chemistry behind it. Let's get started by going over the materials we will need. So first of all, we're going to need a mason jar. We're going to need hydrogen peroxide. We're going to need active dry yeast, and we are going to need a piece of ziti pasta or any pasta that is hollow in the middle. Now that we have everything that we need, let's move on to the setup. Let's begin by first creating a hole in the top of our mason jar lid, which I did it in the center of the lid, and I did this in advance. And now we are going to fill the mason jar with about a 1/2 inch of hydrogen peroxide. Okay. And now we are going to add in a teaspoon of yeast to the hydrogen peroxide in the jar. Sorry about that, guys. And we're going to place our lid on the top and press down firmly. Shake that mixture up a little bit. And as you can see, it's foaming up. Now we're going to place our noodle in the center. Oh gosh, and as you can see, our reaction is coming up out of the center of our noodle. And we're going to light our noodle. The mixture in the jar is actually rather warm. Oh my. So I don't know if you guys can see that. The tighter I push the lid down, the tighter I push the lid down, the more reaction that we actually are getting. Now we really don't want to screw on the lid to our mason jar, because the last thing we want to happen is for this to explode, and we could end up with too much pressure if we're not careful. And please be careful if you're going to do this at home. Be sure you're in a safe environment, a controlled environment. I actually brought in a bottle of water with me, and I'm really close to a sink just in case. So what we can see as I lit the pasta, you could see that the pasta was igniting and burning pretty aggressively, especially when I pushed pressure down on the lid. And at that moment, what was happening was that the heat from the flame is causing the oxygen produced from the hydrogen peroxide and yeast reaction to support the combustion of the pasta. This creates a more intense and rapid burning compared to just lighting dry pasta alone, which actually really doesn't even catch fire at all. So what we observed there, notice how quickly the pasta ignites. Once we got a flame to it, it started to really intensify, especially when I put pressure down and didn't let the sorry about that, guys, the reaction escape out of the sides, the gases inside the jar. So next, let's talk about the chemistry behind the reaction. When we combine hydrogen peroxide and yeast, the yeast acts as a catalyst to decompose the hydrogen peroxide into water and oxygen gas. The balanced chemical equation is 2H2O2 that converts to 2H2O plus O2. This reaction releases oxygen gas, which is crucial for combustion. When we light the pasta, the oxygen produced from the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide supports the combustion process, causing the pasta to ignite and burn pretty aggressively. The burning of the pasta involves the combustion of the carbohydrates present in the pasta. Carbohydrates are organic compounds made up of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen atoms. The main carbohydrate in pasta is starch, which is composed of long chains of glucose molecules. During combustion, the carbon and hydrogen in the starch react with oxygen to form carbon dioxide and water, releasing energy into the form of heat and light. This reaction shows the breaking of carbon, hydrogen, and carbon-oxygen bonds in the starch and the formation of new bonds in carbon dioxide and water. As we can see, the pasta ignites aggressively due to the oxygen released from the hydrogen peroxide decomposition, which supports the combustion of the starch in the pasta. If the experiment by chance did not work as expected, some possible reasons could include insufficient hydrogen peroxide, or yeast, or the pasta may not have absorbed any of the mixture, or it could be that you're not pressing the lid down tight enough. I noticed that the more I pressed down, the more reaction that I was getting. So in conclusion, the pasta rocket experiment vividly demonstrates the principles of combustion and the role of catalysts in chemical reactions. The unique behavior of the transition metals and the intricate interplay between electron configuration, nuclear charge, and atomic properties come into play here, showcasing the fascinating world of chemistry. Thank you for watching my demonstration, and I hope you enjoyed learning about the chemistry behind the pasta rocket. Until next time.